Record. Hey everyone. So we are going to be going over the live playbook training that most of us on this call were on with Jimmy Hayes Nelson. And we're going to talk a little bit about our takeaways. You're going to hear from a couple of different coaches who had aha moments and or a part that really spoke to them from this 3-hour training. Most of these women on this call that will be speaking gave up 3 hours of their Saturday for this training, which is awesome. And I'm sure that it did not disappoint them. So this live playbook training that Jimmy does, he doesn't do it often because it is 3 hours long. He does not record them. It is a sign up for this. You will do it. If you don't show up, you don't get the information. But we are going to bring back, I'm not going to do the 3-hour, training that he did, but we're going to bring back to you guys the things that we thought were the most beneficial that we took in for our own businesses that maybe will help anybody else that watches this as well. So some of the things that he talked about were full-time income in part-time hours, so how to achieve that, how to stay motivated through months like this that are not so great, your fitness and nutrition, and then a life of freedom. So I'm not going to say anything until these lovely ladies who want to speak about what their moments were have completed it, because I don't want to step on any toes. So without further ado, who would like to go first?
I'll go.
Okay.
Of course you will.
Well, because I didn't want anyone else taking my takeaway. Kaylee already took it once from me. Seriously. So the big one for me was treat it like a business, because it took me a really long time to do that, because I never really learned the business, because for me it was just fun and I'll just sell some shakes sometimes. But then I think a big, great point is treat it like a business. If you were to walk into a bank and wanted to start your own business, you'd be taking out a $10,000 business loan, and you wouldn't throw in the towel after a couple days of no one's liking my post, I'm not getting any engagements, I'm not getting any customers from this. You wouldn't just say, screw it. And you also wouldn't have I'm having a bad day, so I'm not going to work on this business, because you've got this $10,000 loan out. So this is like one of the only businesses you can go in at essentially $140 and say, I've got myself a business, and try and sell it. And typically, so many coaches, and I've seen it happens on my team, it happens on so many teams, where they go for a few weeks going strong and like, I'm just not getting any likes, and then they quit. It's like, this business doesn't work, and you get a lot of negativity. But if you were to treat it like an actual business, you would never throw in the towel that fast, and you would put a lot more into it. So for me, it hit home, because as much as I can't ever do, it's a big thing, especially on my team, that most of my team are working full-time as well. It's a little intimidating overall in this business. Everyone's saying do a power hour. I don't do a power hour. I do a power 5 minutes. I do a power 3 minutes while I'm peeing in the bathroom. And I think that it's whatever you can put into it. But if you really want the business, it's there. And I do you got to do the very best you can. But if you're not being consistent, it just falls. I have so many coaches that have started and they go real strong, and they don't get, they have a great month and they have a really sucky month. And I just don't think it's working anymore. And if you were to take out a business loan, you'd be trying something new all the time to keep that business going, and you wouldn't throw in the towel so quick. And I don't think enough people treat this like it's an actual business. So that was my big takeaway.
Yeah, that's huge. Does anyone have anything that they want to add to that? No, nobody.
Because I did that good.
Did that good. Jen was right in the fact that it's like a catch-22 with how cheap it is to sign up for this business, and have it solely be your own business. The assistant that I'm working with right now, she actually does Pampered Chef on the side. She's just not very active in it. But the things that I was telling her that that we're looking into, as far as having her do some of my newsletters and stuff like that, she's like, Beachbody doesn't send those out for you. I'm like, no, that's our business. Pampered Chef sends newsletters out for them, talking about hiring or talking to a lawyer for S Corp and LLCs and all that kind of stuff, especially if you're going to branch off and do something with your Beachbody / not really with Beachbody. Like, we'll get more into that. But, you know, she's like, well, doesn't Beachbody cover if anybody sues you? And I'm like, no, like solely, this is one of the like only companies that's solely your company. Yes, we have rules and regulations, but the beauty of it with the signing up as a coach is you can take it any direction you want. You can be a discount coach, you can be a hobby coach, or you can be a working coach. If you were on that live playbook training, if you are on this call, if you are actively building your business, you are a working coach. So now it has to be treated like that business. And for you to come into it and only spend $140 to $180 to start this business, it will, if you don't have that natural entrepreneur, I'm in this for the business type of mindset, you will get lost in the hobbiness of it. And you know, if you're looking at something like Market America, I don't know if anybody knows that, it's $1,000 buy-in to start that company. You know, I think that you're going to do a little bit more with that if you're you know, going to start that business because you just dumped $1,000 into it, right? But again, you may only get really serious people with $1,000. So it's that catch-22 where you might sign up somebody who says they want to work the business, but because it's only $140, they don't do anything, right? Because they don't see the value in it. So as new coaches and as coaches who are signing coaches, it's important to remember, like, have your set curriculum that you're going to do with your new coaches. If they don't meet it, you're not wasting your time on it, because you will have those people come in and out, those hobby people, those silent people. You may have those people who say, I'm going to work it. And you're like, oh my gosh, I finally have a working coach, and they don't do anything. But you don't want to dump all your time into trying to get them to be that person. Like Jimmy talked about on the call, that person that's standing out in the rain, right? So make sure that even if you're a brand new coach, set your standards now for who you're going to work with and what they have to do in order to work with you, right? So that's kind of just, you know, my input on that as well. But Jen definitely, you know, had the gist of it with, if you wanted to pay like a business, you have to treat it like one. And you spend $140 to sign up, but you need to act and treat your business as if you spent $10,000 to start it. Who's next? Okay. You're on mute. Hold on. I just unmuted you. Go ahead.
Hi, guys. So for my takeaway, what really stood out to me was number 8. It was opportunity, putting opportunity in front of 2 to 5 people per day, and that your goal shouldn't be how many challengers I'm going to get, it's how many people I'm going to reach. And it just hit home with me, because that's always what I do as part of my analyzing, which is the other point that he pointed out not to do. No, don't analyze. I would think, okay, who can I contact? Which 5 people can I contact that will probably buy? Where if I just contacted 2 to 5 people without thinking about that, I could be pleasantly surprised, and every one of them would you know, want to be a challenger. And then the analyzing part, Jen could tell you, if there was a post that she suggested that we all kind of put on our pages, I would read it through and analyze it and say, oh, I'm going to look desperate. You know, maybe I should reword this. And so I work full time, and I do most of this at my desk at work. So I don't really have a lot of time. And if you're the same way and you're spending all of your time analyzing as opposed to actually just doing it, it's going to hurt. So, and then the other thing that was pointed out was it was a suggestion to make a chicken list. Did everybody hear about the chicken list? I came up with about 20 people that I could be sending messages to. And I haven't yet, but because my son was sick and I was home yesterday and everything with him, but so I didn't get a chance. But I have the list of about 20 people. So that's something I'm going to work on.
Good. So
To clarify, though, that chicken list is like people that you admire. It's people that you wouldn't think of reaching out to.
Right. So Jimmy talked about making a chicken list of 10 people. If you know more, great. So they're people that are really successful and you would want to ask to take a look at something, like take a look at, this is what I have to offer. Maybe you know somebody, maybe you want to do it yourself. So those are the people that you might be the most scared to talk to, because they may be somebody that you think has too much going on or whatever. The best kind of coach is somebody who has too much going on. Look at Jen. Too much going on. So yes, those are all great points. The number 8 was the 2 to 5 exposures. And this is, how many people am I going to put the opportunity in front of this month? So you really have to know, if you're in this for sales or if you're in this to build a business. Because if you're in this for sales, 2 to 5 people, how many people are you going to have to put it in front of for a challenge group in order to meet your goal for your sales? If you're in it for the business, how many people, potential coaches, are you going to have to put it in front of? When he talked about the third-party videos, which I posted in our group, is something that I always send people, the Intro to Team Beachbody video. It's 7 minutes long. And, how many people do you have to put that in front of every single day? And this is not just a post on your wall. This is individual back and forth. This month is tough, but every single person that I have talked to has been me messaging them. So that's where the key is. Those invites of 3 to 5 every single day. Every single day. Every single day. Okay, who's next? Okay. I just unmuted you. You're good. Oh, no, wait, I can't hear you. You work on that. Somebody else go while she's working on that. Noelle, you can go.
All right.
Go ahead.
So, what really hit home for me was when he said, I'm responsible to you, not for you. He gave an analogy of, he said to picture a football team and, everyone's in the huddle, the team's in the huddle. The quarterback calls out the play and off you go. And the receiver turns the wrong way and he completely misses the ball. And it's a big mess. And then he said, everyone's back in the huddle. Everyone runs back to the huddle to get ready to go again. And then you look up, and as the quarterback, you have to make sure your whole team's there. You look up, and your receiver's still out there, sitting, kneeling on the ground, crying, woe is me. I can't believe I made the wrong play, blah, blah, blah. So now it's a quarterback. You got to run, and you're going to get him, and you're like, please, 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 come on. It's okay. We'll start over. Let's go. But then you turn around, and you see your whole entire team is standing behind you, waiting in the huddle, waiting to get started. And now the time is running out, and penalties and blah, blah, blah. That's all football stuff. But it really struck home for me because this is something I'm struggling with currently with a girl she's a challenger, who at first started out, she's needy. She wants me to check in with her every day, and I can work with that. That's totally fine. But I can't do it for you. And I think that's what resonated with me, was that if you're going to give me 110%, I'll give you 110% back. But as the quarterback, I can't spend my time trying to change your mind about getting your butt up and doing it for you, if that makes sense. So because everybody else that I'm working with is suffering because I'm spending my time trying to change her mind. So yeah, that really hit home with me, and it's something that I'm trying to balance between not spending all of my time trying to constantly encourage isn't the right word. It's like building her up to try to get her to do it. I can't do it for you. So I guess that's what I took away.
Yeah, that's good. And that's also for coaches as well. those coaches that are very needy, or even discounts. You know, we give what we're given. So, you know, and something that Katie Erster talked about at our retreat, which I'm going to start doing if any coach comes to me with a problem. And I really liked this method because we as coaches, we do need to vent, right? There's things that happen in our business, whether with our team or with, you know, somebody that you knew or a potential or something. There's just something that's going to bring us down that we're going to need to vent about. Maybe the month is not going the best way. But so basically what she does with her team is she gives them, this is on a personal call, so on their one-on-one calls, she gives them 10 minutes to vent, 10 minutes to think about what they can control in the situation, and then 10 minutes of them talking back and forth to create a plan of action, to make it better, to help them in whatever they're struggling with. So it's a 30-minute conversation, but at least then they can get it out and then it's over and done with. They can talk about it. They are then seeing what in the situation they can control, because we're very big on what can you control the controllable. If something's going on that is completely out of your control, leave it alone, because it's only taking your focus off of your business. Right. So that's kind of the way that she has done it. And, we all felt like that, wow, that was like really beneficial. So guess what? Personally sponsored coaches, that's what you're doing. But, you know, it's something to think about with your coaches and or your challengers. You can do the same thing with your challengers. Like if she's having a bad day, 10 minutes, what's going on? And then 10 minutes, what's in the situation that you can control? And then 10 minutes, let's figure out how we're going to get over this so we don't do this again tomorrow. Same things.
Sounds good.
Okay, who's next? Nobody? Tanya? Still can't hear you. It's all right. It's okay. We love you anyway. So I'm just going to go over, seeing that nobody else wants to talk, unless somebody has a second one they want to talk about. I'll just go over the rest of them.
Kaylee, can you go over the 3-day refresh thing? Because I got interrupted in the middle of that one.
Yeah, that's part of the rest of them. So, okay. So he talked about 10 points, and I'm not going to go into full detail about them, but there are some certain ones that are very important. Some of you touched on them. Some of you touched on other things that were maybe involved in some of these points, but were not actually one of the points. So number 1 was connect and plug in. And that is pretty self-explanatory. Connect, plug in, team calls are important. Team page is important. Talking to your sponsor coach is important. Talking to your team is important. Talking to the team is important. Being involved in groups and trainings and stuff like that. Plug in, connect. That's what he means by that. Plain and simple. Number 2 was PPDS. Who remembers what that stands for? Could somebody that didn't talk want to tell me what that stands for? Jen? Mute yourself. No.
Me.
No, you talked already. You can't say it.
I didn't.
No, I know. I'm yelling at Jen. Go ahead, Jen.
Oh. Push, play, drink, Shakeology.
Very good. So
Yay!
that is based off of vital behavior number 2, right? So be proof that the product works. Constantly be pushing play and drinking Shakeology. And he talked about, and I've actually just talked to somebody who's not on our team about this, because they messaged me and they're like, I'm feeling a little discouraged. I don't really know where to go. Business is not doing well. And I said, are you doing hammer and chisel? That's our number 1 thing right now. We're promoting it. It's brand spanking new. Not to mention Upward Bound House is attached to it, which is something that I am all for. And she said, no. I said, what program are you doing? She said right now she's doing some things in Beachbody on Demand. And I've actually had this conversation with Jen. Although Jen's more of a space cadet in the yellow fam, so it's okay. But most coaches...
Wait a minute.
Yeah. Most coaches should be doing a program from start to finish. I don't care what program it is, but you need to pick one and stick with it, right? If you're following me every single day, I have posted a video of me doing hammer and chisel. Today was about my butt. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it. But I'm showing them that I'm doing it every single day, right? So pushing play, follow a program, pick one, do it from start to finish, post your results. This is where the magic happens because people are watching and watching and watching. Obviously drink Shakeology every day. He talks about, and I've talked about it before numerous times, that doing these things build your belief not only in yourself because you're starting to feel better, but in the products and the system, right? So you then can talk about it with confidence. Anybody have anything want to add to that one?
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
He said only sign up with me with the Kickstart.
Yes.
So is he only signing people up if they do the Kickstart with the challenge packs?
Well, I'm sure he's not doing it to everyone if it's like a discount coach or something like that. His working coaches, and this is what Jen wanted me to touch on. This is actually something that I started today with hopefully the coach that will be signing up tonight. Kickstart. He only signs working, well, he's going to. This is something that he just learned. He is only signing coaches up with the Kickstart Challenge Pack. Why? Because he wants to have them have results as soon as possible. So when they purchase the Kickstart, they get the 3-day refresh. The day it comes in the mail, well, the day after it comes in the mail, they start that 3-day refresh. So in 3 days, they have results to show, right? And that will kickstart not only their business with results that are proven, like, hey, this is what I did in 3 days. I lost 5 pounds. I feel amazing. Here's my before and after. Now I'm going into the 21-day fix extreme. Cannot wait to be feeling X, Y, and Z. Anybody would like to join me? Let me know. Well, now they have proof that they actually did something and people can see that this is results. And he wants them being able to start their business right away rather than having to wait until 21 days later after they started the fix, right? And I think it's genius. It's only $20 more, technically, in a Kickstart Challenge Pack for a $65 program of the 3-day refresh. So it's genius, especially if it's a gung-ho working coach, like, yeah, I want to do this. Okay, we're going to get you results right away. Like something that we can share on social media and put out there all over the place. We're going to constantly talk about it. Even after the 3 days, while you're on this 21-day fix, you still talk about the 3-day refresh. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I still feel amazing. I haven't gained my weight back because I'm doing X, Y, and Z. Anything like that, that's going to get them eyes following them right away. Does that make sense? Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does.
Jen, does that help you?
She's muted.
Yeah.
Yes, all good. Although, because I of course went over to Messenger and was going to go tack that on to someone else signing on tonight because you finished explaining it.
Yeah. So if they're going to be working coach, that's what I suggest. It's only $20 more. So, and if you explain to this working coach that, hey, this is the plan, like our plan is for you to get results as soon as this comes in with this 3-day refresh. Like that's what I did tonight on the phone with somebody. That is the best way to start your business off with a bang. Okay. So moving on. Number 3 was personal development. There's not much that we need to touch base on here. Just do it. Just do it. He talked about 2, and one of them I have sung high off the mountaintops to many of my coaches and on many of team calls is Entrepreneur Roller Coaster. Jen just finished it because I told her to read it, and it is now by far her favorite one. It is my favorite book, and it's something that I will now be giving to all of my new coaches that sign on that want to work the business because it is that good. Darren Hardy is my personal development crush. So just, that. And then the other one was Gary Vaynerchuk, who is the author of Jab, 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 Right Hook. So that's all things social media, knowing how to do attraction marketing, like all of your jabs are like my videos, right? All of my videos are jabs maybe up until Sunday night when I advertise for my exclusive group for Hammer and Chisel, right? So those are all like little jabs that I'm giving people, that type of stuff. It doesn't just talk about Facebook. It talks about Twitter, blogging, Instagram. So anything that you are taking on as a secondary thing other than your main Facebook page is there. I also suggest this. He suggests the audio version of books only because it's really hard for us, and I find that I've been noticing this with coaches that they're not doing personal development because they don't have time to read. I don't have time to read, so I actually do Audible on my phone and will put in earbuds while I'm food shopping or driving or something. If I find that there's something in there that I want to write down, I will mark it and I'll come back and re-listen to it, or I will schedule out a time. I'll stop like what I'm looking at or listening to, and I will carve out like 10 to 15 minutes of my day so that I can go in and write it down because I feel like it's going to be something useful for you guys. Do the same with your coaches. That's something else he talks about which is number 7. We'll get to there. Number 4 is get to events. So how many of you are going to Super Saturday? Jen's frozen, but she's going.
I am going. I really am frozen.
It's because every time you switch over, you're frozen.
All right, settle down.
If you're not, you should. Look for the one that's nearest you. You do not need to go with the team. I know a whole bunch of us are traveling to Pittsburgh for the party and the trainings and stuff like that. But New Jersey has a very good one. I'm on that market council, so don't write us off. And wherever you are, I guarantee you there is one near you. So get there. It is important. It's like $10. I mean, unless it's like a big one, it may be 20. But huge. These events are ginormous for your business. Summit, if you're not on the wait list, get on the wait list. They're hoping to pull everyone off of the wait list. So there's no coach left behind. All of these things are huge. Why are they huge? He talked about having your work ethic changed when you have your butt on the line. I'm not going to use the word that he used. So if you are going to these events and you are meeting people and you're saying, this is where I want to be, this is where I want to go, how did you do that, how did you do this? Talking about it with other people, creating relationships, and having success partners that are not just from this team. Some of my best success partners are from completely different teams because they do things differently, and I may pull something from there and use it, and it may work for me. So I highly suggest getting to events because it's going to make you branch out and meet new people that you can become friends with and build a business with. You're going to collect stories from other people that you can share. Beachbody is very big about sharing stories, Woman Crush Wednesdays, Throwback Thursdays, Transformation Tuesdays. So taking selfies with people people who you heard a story about and inspired you. It doesn't have to be your story that you're sharing. It can be anybody's, but if you're in the picture with them, obviously they know that you know them or have met them. So get used to taking pictures of yourself. Love yourself. Selfies are always the best. So if anybody says, oh, you want me to take that picture of you? But no, selfies are the best. They really are. I don't know how many people I've said that to. If they tried to take my picture with somebody, I'm like, no, it's okay. I'll just have to redo it anyway because selfies are the best. So just snap as many pictures as you can. Even if it's something that you're like, oh, I don't know if I can use that, you probably could use it somewhere with a motivational quote or something. So just snap them. Number 5 was treat your business like a business, which is basically what Jen was talking about and hit on point. Number 6 is lists and referrals, so work off of those. So he gave us a memory jogger list. The back office has one. Go through it. Write down anyone that comes to mind in every single topic, whether you think that they are going to be a good coach or challenger or not, because they may surprise you. How many of you have talked to somebody that you've written off and was like, they'll never be a coach or a challenger, and yet they're like the first person that signs up, right? That's what happens. And if they don't want to do it, then you ask, is there anybody that would, right? So that's pretty much that. And then that also went with the chicken list. Number 7 is be system dependent. So make sure, especially new coaches, I wish somebody told me this in the beginning, write down what you do. Write down what's working for you, what's not working for you. Have a notebook of your do's and your don'ts in the beginning of your business, and that you carry through your entire business, because excuse me, because you're going to have coaches come in and they're going to have the same struggles as you, and you want something that's duplicatable. So you can say, that didn't work for me, but this is how I handled it. And for me, I don't remember last week. So it's really hard for me to like get back 2.5 years ago when people are like, well, what did you do in the beginning? You know, I had to really sit down and, like, all distractions aside, just really narrow in on what I did. So all of you guys that are working this and have decided to treat this as a business, start tracking, like, what you're doing, whether it didn't work or it did, because no matter what, somebody's going to ask it. So you want to be able to pull the things that did work and create a system or a training or a group or information or tips from it so that you can share it with your team as your team grows. In that also was the third-party videos. So whether you make a video about what a challenge group is with your team, or what coaching is with your team or yourself, and you send those to all people who are interested, you do that. I've talked about it numerous times on team calls, the Eric Worre, if I would you. So if I sent you this video, this 7-minute video, would you watch it? If they say yes, you pretty much make an appointment with them as to when you're going to talk to them again about it. The video that I send is the intro to Team Beachbody from YouTube. It's 7 minutes long. I send that. For example, I was talking to somebody who was interested in a challenge group but didn't have money. So whenever I hear that, I turn it into, would you like to make money from home? And she didn't know what Beachbody was, technically, that it wasn't a multi-level marketing at-home business. So I said, if I sent you a video about it, would you watch it? And she said yes. So she's like, I just said, let me know when is good for you. Let me know what you think of it. She sent me a message back that night saying, now I'm really interested after watching that video. I'm going to your live event. Get that video out in front of as many people as you can. And if you're like me, I like to play little games with myself. Like if I have to drink a whole bunch of water and I'm 30 seconds from home, I'll say, okay, I can't pull in my driveway until I finish this water. So I'm like chugging water as I'm driving. Same thing with my business. If I say I want to put this video in front of 50 people, I don't get to do something until that happens. That's like the competitiveness in my own mind. I have to do it. Or your success partner. I just said to my success partner who's on a different team, after listening to this call, because we were both on this call, I said, hey, in a week and a half, you want to get that video, because we both use the same video, in front of 100 people. And she's like, yeah, let's do it. We have until the 21st to do that. Excuse me. So even finding a success partner that you can compete with and help each other be held accountable, do it. The more people, the better. The more people, the more no's, but then again, the more yeses. And all those no's go on a follow-up list, right? I posted all of those coach trackers in Revolution Fitness. They all go on those lists, okay? System dependent. Number 8 was 2 to 5 exposures a day. This is talking to people. This month, it may be 20 exposures a day because it's hard and we're coming down to the last end of the month. I don't want any of you who are either on this call or going to listen to the recording to end the month with Success Club 0, 2, or 4. 5. Non-negotiable. Success Club 5. If you can do it in the hardest month, you can do it in the easier months. Push yourself, find an accountability partner, look at what's working for other people, tweak it so that it sounds like you and something that you would do, because then people will be attracted to it, and do it, right? If you have a question about policy and procedures, message me. I'll let you know. Number 9 was finding people on social media. in this, he just talked about there's two ways, attraction marketing. So this is like Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, you adding value to your pages. So for example, the person that I talked to tonight on the phone, she had messaged me a while back about my Made to Crave group, and she never ended up doing it, but she, for some reason, messaged me today about coaching because she had been scrolling through my feed. I had been adding value. I had been talking about my workouts. I talk a lot about business, give business tips, so on and so forth. And so she came to me and said, what do you do? You know what her words to me were? She goes, what do you do? I see that you work out, involve Christ, and stay at home. I go, that's what I do. I work out, I involve Christ, and I stay at home. I literally said it to her. That's what I do. I help people get healthy and fit, and I help on a business end, help people build a business. Plain and simple. So she's like, let's get on the phone. So just adding value of what you enjoy to do is going to bring people. The other way was seeking and finding, and that would be engagement. He talked about the book Crush It. That goes with that. So that would be like searching hashtags on Twitter or Instagram, or cold market, just inviting, just constantly talking to people and throwing that out there. Just that's the inviting aspect of it. And then number 10, which for me is the biggest one, is be here a year from now, especially if you're a new coach. Get to Summit, get to Super Saturdays, and be here a year from now. If you do all of those and you're consistent in what your upline is telling you to do with the inviting and the really tweaking the way that you do things, because it may not work now, but because of that doesn't mean you just throw in the towel. Be here a year from now, right? There are numerous coaches that hold their rank for a year, year and a half, 2 years, and then all of a sudden something clicks and they make 6 figures. But you have to be consistent. That consistency is what clicked for them. They may have had a slower start, but here they are 2 years later making 6 figures. Okay, so be here a year from now. Really put your all into it for a year. 1 year. You're all, like 100%. Does anybody have any questions? Does anybody have any concerns? Does anybody have anything else to add? I just did that good, right, Jen?
You did. We got this.
Lisa, you have something? Hold on, you're on mute. Okay, you're unmuted.
Yeah, I have a concern.
Okay.
So I don't know how everybody else on here is working the business, but I have a problem or roadblock, or I don't know what it is, actually getting coaches as opposed to just challengers. I don't know how to.
You mean, Lisa, are you talking about working coaches, or are you
Yes.
talking coaches in general?
Working coaches.
Don't worry about it. Just sign everybody up as a coach, and some of them will eventually coach.
Okay.
That's funny. My advice is to start talking more about business.
That's
one thing that's what I posted, Lisa, today was, or I can't even remember who I was messaging it, is that talk more about the coaching opportunity and what it's done for you. And I know that you had hesitation of that, maybe because you were analyzing it. I could say that now, right?
Well, I mean, I probably was, but I guess I am analyzing it when I say I can't talk about what it's done for me because I haven't been monetarily what you want to tell people how you can build a business. It's hard for me to do because I haven't really done that much. Right. I haven't built that much.
Right. So it doesn't have to be monetary. What has it done for you, for your family? What has it done for your health? What has it done for, even if it's like, oh my gosh, it put gas in my car this week. If you're talking about your story, whereas we'll just use me as an example. Lots of debt, thinking about bankruptcy, couldn't go back to work because I'd be paying for my daycare, in which I wouldn't be bringing in money. So what did I do? I started this. Yes, I sacrificed a lot. I still gave up everything that I could in the very beginning, but little by little, I was able to maybe not knit so many scarves at my mom's next craft show because of this opportunity. So no matter what it is, it doesn't have to be like this huge thing that, that Beachbody has done, because right now in this moment, you're going to be speaking to people of where you are, that you want to help at this point. And then you guys will grow together. And as you get more and more into this, years down the road, you can say, this is what it did for me.
So down the road. So I shouldn't try to promote this as a business right now.
No,
I should just
definitely. You need to find out what Beachbody has done for you up until this date.
Okay.
And you need to be raw and real about your story and what it.
I don't have a problem with that.
What this opportunity has done from the day you started until now. It does not have to be monetary. It can be. It can be physical. It can be mental. Like Tara, she had a huge mental transformation. That's huge for some people. Some people need that. And right now, that might be the type of people that you attract. I'm not saying that's going to be later down the road, but where you are now is what you're sharing.
Okay.
You need to make.
I also think, Lisa, is that I never talked about the business opportunity much at all either. I just signed up everyone as a coach as if it wasn't an option. And sometimes when they start having a good experience themselves, they turn into a working coach. I'm not saying it's the fastest track way to do it,
right?
But because now I struggle finding a lot of people that come right out of the gate wanting to be a working coach. I don't have a ton of them. That's where I am putting a little more energy into now. But I have a lot of people that said, I don't even want to sell. I just want to get the discount. And all of a sudden they're naturally selling because they're having a transformation. They're their own billboard. They're a product of the product and it's selling itself. And then they're like, you know what, maybe I should sell this a little bit. So sometimes it just turns out, if you just go, instead of, being totally dependent on working coaches, just build coaches initially. If you don't stress over finding someone that wants to work so much, it'll happen naturally. I think it happens naturally a lot of times.
Okay.
I also believe that you need to create a schedule. So, the last 2 weeks of the month, you are advertising or just talking about what the coaching opportunity has done. So then you can add new coaches the last 2 weeks and start them in a Coach Basics the first week. Then the first 2 weeks of the month, you're talking about a challenge group so that you start at the third week. So having that every single month where you are doing both challengers and coaches is going to build your business, basically, monetary plus coach-wise. Tara raised her hand. I don't even know what that means. But Tara, you want to say something?
I thought that's what it meant, that I wanted to say something. I just wanted to tell Lisa that, even if she feels like she doesn't have her own story to share, she can always share one of ours. You know what I mean? Like, I'll put it into words. You put it on your wall. I have no problem doing that. And, as far as finding up coaches is concerned, I look at Yolanda, who I just signed up 16 days ago. She started 21-Day Fix. After day 14, she's like, I want to be a coach. She wasn't even a coach. She didn't sign up as a coach. Then she signed up as a coach. So it'll come.
You just have to have a system about it. Talking about the business, talking about challenge groups. You can't do both on the same week. You just get people confused.
Oh, okay. That helps.
But Jen and I have a very different approach to the way that we run our businesses. Not one is wrong, not one is better than the other, but I came into this for the business, she came into it for the discount, and then she became a working coach. So that's pretty much what she does. She signs people like that. Me, I'm more focused on the business end of it, so I sign, I'm looking for more so working coaches. It just depends on...
Yeah, I'm more like Jen, obviously, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So
I'm going to jump off. I got to
a
put my son to bed. Good night.
Okay. Go ahead, Jackie.
Oh, I just had a question because I know that you and Jen do things differently, and you don't. And Jen, correct me if I'm wrong. You don't give people really an option. They have to sign up as a coach, as a discount coach. But Kaylee, you make people wait, don't you, before they sign up as a coach? Am I getting that right, Jen?
I think what we were talking about is I don't know if it was right or wrong, but I right off the bat tell them why they should sign up as a coach to get a discount, because whether they want to cancel or not, they have to kind of go through the same process.
Right.
So I just sign up that way right away. Kaylee's point was, what she said is she signs people up with a challenge pack, and then if they're interested in coaching before their next shake delivers, she talks to them, and because then you know it's getting her more benefit from that by signing them in the second month. I just never thought to do it that way.
I don't do that. I only sign a customer if I need PV in a business center.
Say that again.
So every coach needs a certain amount of PV, right, to remain active. Coach status, Emerald status need 50. Ruby needs 75. And Diamond needs 90 or 100. They need 100. Star Diamond needs 200 PV every 5-week period. So if I don't have enough PV, let's say in my second CBC for 200 PV to remain 1 star, I will sign a customer, because when you sign a coach, you don't get the PV, right? At that point, if they decide that they want to stay in Shakeology, yes, before their next shake goes out, I will sign them up as a discount coach. But that being said, normally I sign everybody up as either a discount coach or a working coach. I do sign more, quote unquote, people who want to work the business than I do challengers, because that is the way that I run my business. Pretty much all of my Success Club points come from that, but there are a few discounts in between.
Gotcha.
Hey, Tara, you can lower your hand now. Just kidding. I don't even know what that is. Does anybody else have any questions? No?
Nope.
Okay. Well then, I'll let you go. I hope this helped.
Good night, all.
Have a
I'm
good
super
night.
excited how many of my team got on tonight, though.
Good.
Look at all their happy faces, and so many of us that get up in the morning, and Tara's probably going to be swearing at me within minutes right now how late it is.
You're on mute.
You're on mute, Tara.
I got 3 hours of sleep last night.
All right.
Go to bed.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
No.